Hey guys, welcome to the Linux Quick Start series. In this video, I'll be going over a few of the most common navigation commands in order to get you guys walking through your file system like a pro. I'll be introducing each command with its man page, so I hope you watch the first video so you know how to use man. Alrighty then, let's get to it. First, let's take a look at the clear command. Clear is pretty simple. All it does is clear the terminal screen. So if your screen's full of text and you want it to be clear, type clear and it will clear. Next, let's take a look at the pwd command. Pwd stands for print working directory, and it shows you the contents of the folder that you're in currently, or I'm sorry, not the contents. It shows you the path of the folder you're in currently. This can be helpful, especially when you're starting out, because it's easy to get lost in the file system when you're first starting out in Linux. So it's a simple way to find out where you are. We'll take a look at ls next. Ls is for list directory contents. This shows you whatever files and folders are in the directory that you're currently in. This is a command that you're going to be using a lot, so you better get used to it. Let's take a look at a couple of the ls flags. You can look through this man page on your own and read them for yourself, but let's take a look at LSL. LSL stands for listing in long format. This simply modifies the listing output and displays it in long format, including the file owner, the permissions, the timestamp, the file size, etc. So it's the same list that we would get if we would normally issue ls with no flags, only it gives us a little bit more information because we can see the permissions in the user and the group and the date and so on and so forth. And before we get too far, I better just show you regular ls output if we issue no flags. So there that is, and you can see a comparison right there for yourself. So next we'll look at the M flag, and the M flag stands for stream. This simply modifies the listing output and displays it as a text string, separating each file or folder by a comma. So we can take a look at that. So there we go, same list, just puts it in order and separates it by comma. Let's take a look at LSA. LSA includes any files or folders starting with a dot into the listing. Typically, in a Unix type operating system, files starting with a dot are hidden files. So these hidden files are mostly, we can see them right there, mostly used to store meta information for other programs. So they're hidden in the file system. Normally you can't see them, but if you want to see them, you can type ls tac a. And another thing you can do is kind of link flags together. So we can see this by issuing ls tac am. This will link the A and the M flags together, so we'll get the full list with the dot files in a comma separated format. So that's just a basic overview of ls and a couple of its mostly used flags. I spent a little bit more time on this because you're going to be using ls a lot. So clear the screen, and next we will take a look at cat. Cat is used to concatenate files and prints on standard output. So in layman's terms, cat just spits out the contents of a file to the terminal screen so you can read it. So we will use ls to see our folder contents here, and I can see we have a HTML file, so I want to see the contents of that HTML file, so I'll issue cat index.html, and there we go. I can see the contents of that HTML file. So cat is pretty useful. It allows you to look at files and actually see what's inside them. Now, if you try to cat a picture or something, you won't get very good results. I'll let you experiment with that, but basically text files is what you're limited to with the cat. So last but not least, let's take a look at CD. I'm not going to issue the man command for cd, but cd stands for change directory. It lets you move your shell into a different folder in the file system. This allows you to work with the files directly in that folder. So let's take a look at some of the folders we have to work with. I can see that we have folder 1 and folder 2. So if we want to change our directory into folder 1, we can simply issue cd folder 1. We can see now that we are in folder 1. We can check that by issuing pwd, and we can see our path there. In order to step back a directory if we want to, you might think we could do cd home user and get back that way, which we can do. But that can be really inefficient, especially if you're in a folder that's maybe 20 files deep. It's a pain in the butt to type all that out. So there's a shortcut we can use to step back one directory from where we are, and that is cd ... That'll throw us back in the directory we were before, in the hierarchy, so directly before the folder that we're in. So we're back to home user. So that's pretty much the basics of what I wanted to show you in this lesson. I'll run over the commands again one more time just so we can be straight on them. Clear, which I just used. pwd, which shows us where we are in the file system, our current folder that we're in. ls, which lists the contents of the folder we're in. cat, which allows us to view a contents of a file, and cd, which allows us to change the directory into a different folder. So that's all for this Linux Quick Start. I hope I brought you guys up to speed on some of the navigation basics. I'll see you guys later.